So hi Shailesh, thanks for taking the time for this interview. I know you're on the way on a business trip, so it's very, very nice of you to share with us your experience doing scaling up, right? So maybe you can start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Hi, Jeremy. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would love to share about my journey in the last 10 years with Triveni Group. So basically, Triveni Group is a $500 million plus company in Nepal. It's one of the largest conglomerates, and the electronics division is what I'm handling. And it's a sister concern of overall Triveni Group. So about 10 years back, I joined this company, and this company was a very conventional, orthodox way of thinking and processing information and doing the business. And when I came back from my education, it was a really difficult scenario for me to actually grasp what is happening in this company because I had no reports, no insight on the numbers,
Mhm.
and everyday decision making was hunch based. There was no numbers, so um, all the decisions we used to take was hunch based, and it was a very difficult scenario to do business at that time. And
Right.
that's when I thought that I have to change things around here, and this is going to be like was my challenge. I took it as a challenge that I will change the scenario. And all the elders, who used to run this company, used to come and tell me that you can't really professionalize things in Nepal. It's not possible.
Right.
That's when I thought that this is what I need to do.
Wow.
So, and then in the following questions, I will answer how and when I did things.
Well, so thank you for giving us the context because I remember we had some conversations about this. Not just you face the challenge in the business, but there was also disbelief, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
leadership in the business didn't really believe in what you want to
Yes.
achieve. And I
Yes.
remember you really struggled. But no, let's hear a little bit about those struggles. What are one or two key things that you felt really stopped the company from growing?
I think every business is very complex. It has its own complexity. And I think when many things are very complex and none of those things are being able to align, then the company cannot work. And without information technology, and I think you are nowhere. So those are the things that I was really facing the problems with.
Right.
So I knew that I had to change things around the information.
Right. So when we started working together, we put in the scaling up system. We had a very good session with your team. And I know
Yeah,
now that you have doubled the business.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
So
you,
maybe you
thank
can
you.
share with us what are some key things that in the scaling up that you use that really transform the business.
So, as I said in my last conversation, that it's the information technology with which you can change the business. And once I implemented the information technology, I implemented an ERP system in the company, and then also I was very zapped that things are not moving forward. And then I was like, why is my business not still functioning in the way that I want it to be? Then I went for a program through EO, which is called the Entrepreneurs Masters Program, and I learned about how the business should be run. So I always take this example. So for a marathon runner or for the number one runner in the world, like a 100-meter runner, even that person needs a coach to run the 100 meters. It's just running 100 meters. Even that person has a coach how to run the 100 meters. Any top player in the world in sports category, if you see, they will have a coach. So if you want to be the best in business, you need to have a coach. You need to have some guidance from you, from some professionals. And that's when I realized that to run my business, I feel I need someone to guide us as to how a business is run, because there are so many complex matters in a business. That's when I decided that the scaling up process in terms of people, strategy, execution, cash, these all four pillars need to be understood, aligned with each of the team members, and taken forward.
Wow. So maybe you can tell us one or two things that you felt having a coach really helped, and what was the process that you went through?
I think the most important thing was alignment.
Right.
See, every team member is has a different thought process, has different goals, and what a coach does is takes the views of the leader, the main leader of the company, and uh, aligns all the team members with that leadership goal, and then everyone is on the same path towards achieving
Mm,
that goal. So only then will the company be able to move forward. So as a coach, I think we were able to align our core values, which we are still following in the company very
wow.
strongly. Every employee in the company now knows about our core values, and that
Wow.
started with the leadership team.
Yes.
I got to know about the profile analysis of my leaders, through that session. I got
Right.
to know who's strong at what points, who's weak at what points, and we
Right.
started um, playing to the strengths of those people, and weaknesses were sided. Even for myself, I think after doing my disc analysis, I started focusing on my strengths rather
Yes.
than the areas which I thought I should attempt at.
Right. So really
So
putting the right people on the right seat to do the right things.
yes.
Right.
And as the scaling up process says, the people, strategy, execution, cash. Without the right people, we cannot make the right strategy. Without the right strategy, we cannot make the execution, and there will be no cash conversion cycle. So I mean, even today, for any new project, we decide, we hunt for the people, we get the right team in place.
Right.
We make the strategy and then we execute, and we can see flawless execution. Even if it takes us
Wow.
6 months, we take 6 months. In fact, one of our projects we took over 1 year, and but we can see the execution now, and it's converting. And no one in our country has that kind of project, like that
Wow.
kind of product. Even
That's
after
great.
6 months, now no one has been able to develop that product.
So you are
So
able to beat your competition by really putting the right people, come up with the right
yeah,
strategy and do the right things.
yes,
It's awesome.
yes,
Wow.
absolutely, absolutely,
That's great.
absolutely,
That's great.
absolutely.
So, it's very
Yeah,
inspiring to hear this because I remember when we first started working on scaling up, we had a lot of conversations about the people in your team, right? And,
yes, yes,
how we
yes,
slowly move everybody to the right position. And we see some real
yeah,
stars, right, in your company rising up,
yes,
right? So, really
yes,
glad to hear that. And you mentioned one thing which I thought a lot of business owners always talk about, and that's to have more time, right, to do what's really important.
yeah.
Can you tell us how do you achieve that?
Um, so on every week I follow a rhythm. So as the scaling up, word harness says that rhythm sets you free.
Yes.
So I set up a rhythm. I do a planning for the entire week on what are my most important meetings, what are my most important projects. I also do a yearly plan, like what are the main things that I want to achieve in the entire year, and then
Right.
I break it down into those projects into months and then on a weekly basis. So
Right. On
uh,
a weekly basis.
so on a weekly basis.
Wow, that's
So
very good.
then I set up a rhythm with each of the teams on the weekly basis to discuss about those projects, and everything is measured, everything has a timeline with a responsible person. So I follow the who, what, when.
Right, right. That's great.
uh,
So yeah. So you not only
that's how
doubled
we make it.
your you not only doubled your revenue, you doubled your time, right? Your effectiveness. And
Yes,
also I like what you said. Now you can really focus on doing working on the business rather than working in the business.
yes. So
Right.
I I spend about 70% of my time on strategy now.
Wow. So that really
And
frees you.
earlier I was spending, yeah, earlier I was spending only 10 to 15%, because as soon as I would do strategy work, the execution team would come and tell me, like, things are not happening, this and that.
Right.
So I would have to go and go to the field work and do some execution as well.
Amazing. So now you can really focus on growing the business. So I want to just ask you one last question.
Yeah,
Um, what is some things
yeah.
you can share to inspire business owners to scale their business? Because business owners face so many challenges, especially with COVID and other things. What's one thing you think you can share to inspire them?
Um, I would say that business is very complex. Overall business, running a business is complex, and to add that to that complexity, the people that we have are also of different backgrounds, and they are also very complex. So it's
Right,
very essential to uh, have a guiding person to understand this complexity. We need to keep talking to someone, keep having a consistent communication with someone, to talk about our ideas, to talk about how we are trying to do things, and get the guidance. Because as individuals, as leaders, maybe we are not 100% in the right path. I used to
right,
feel that I am doing 100%. I'm giving my 100%. It's not even one day that I don't give my 100% in the business. But am I doing everything right as a
right,
leader? So sometimes we don't say the right things in the to the people, and it's all about the people part. If we can inspire the people to do their jobs in the maximum way, then I have realized that people perform much better than your expectations.
right,
It's beautiful how it comes out, but I have realized in my last 2 years that I could not have done that particular job the way this person has done it. They are far much better than me in that job, and it's our responsibility to find better people than us and
wow,
them the opportunity, give them the opportunity to perform at their peak.
wow.
So, and as much as I try to do it, as much as I give that space to people, they come out with flying colors.
Excellent.
So
So it
it's
really
beautiful
seems
to see that.
like your secret to success, whether is it in good
Yeah,
times and bad times, is to find the right
yeah,
people and empower them to be successful.
absolutely. And that's one of our core values also, empower through results.
Amen. That's
So
really good.
for we are firm believers of that, and I think it is happened really well in our company also now.
Great. Wow. So thank you very much for sharing with us some of these very valuable experiences. I'm so happy for you that you doubled the business. I remember those days when you
Yeah,
were struggling through, right? We
yeah,
were really trying to make this work out, but you persevered. Your team persevered, and you have got
yeah,
some really good people. And I think that's really the key, right? Finding these good people and then
yeah,
empowering them for
yeah,
success, right? So thank you very much, Shailesh, for your time.
yeah,
I'm going to
Jeremy.
hold you back further
Thank
from your trip. Once again, on behalf of all the business owners who's going to hear this and be encouraged by you, thank you very much.
thank you, Jeremy. Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you soon.